Yo, what's good? My name's Kang like Kangaroo. I'm a Canadian that's currently living and working in Seattle as a software engineer. And on this channel, we explore tips and tricks that you can take advantage of in order to reach fire faster. So we're on month 8 of me breaking down how much I spent, save, and invest. So without further ado, let's just get into it. First off, we'll start off with the pay. This month I earned $6,187, of which I invested $1,600 into Bitcoin, another $1,600 into my ESPP, and $6,500 into my Roth IRA. Now, the reason that I'm investing into my Roth IRA right now is because I wanted to wait and see how much of a bonus that I was getting through work. So the reason that I'm doing this is because I make enough money where I'm making very close to the max amount of money that you can until you're not able to contribute to the Roth IRA in the normal way, and you have to do what's called the backdoor Roth. And that's what ended up happening. All right, after the investments, we can talk about spending. So this month I did a lot of traveling. I went to New York and then went back home to Toronto for a little bit. And in between that, my friends came to visit me in Seattle. So a lot of different moving pieces. So I expect this amount of money to be very high, which it is. So this month I spent a total of $4,319. That's a lot, don't get me wrong, but I think considering all the different things I did and all the different places I went, I think this is actually not too bad. So first things first is auto and transportation. I spent $218 this month, and I normally budget $25, so it's way over. So $100 of this is actually for a rental car when my friends came to visit me. This is really good pickup because we're able to go do a bunch of hikes. We were able to do Rainier. My friends had never been to Seattle, so showing them Rainier, I think like we got to do that. And then, just showing them around the city, going to different spots that aren't really accessible right away without a car. So rental car was definitely worth it in that sense. And then the rest of the money that I spent was either between Ubers, here or there in Toronto or in New York, and also paying for the Presto, which is the subway system in Toronto, and then also paying for the New York MTA, I think that's what it's called. Next, we have internet, $91. That's just because I was moving and then they had to charge a one-time installation fee for the new spot that I'm in, which is kind of silly that they're going to charge me that, but whatever. Next up, we have alcohol and bars. This month I spent $88 on alcohol, buying shots for my friends, buying drinks, just gallivanting around Seattle, Toronto, New York, etc. Next up, we have fast food for $88. I kind of actually expected this to be higher considering how many places I went. It ended up only being $88, which I guess I'm pretty happy about. I guess it will make sense when we get on to the restaurants because that was really high. This month I spent $279 on groceries, which is a lot considering I was eating out a ton and I wasn't actually in the city for like 2 weeks of the month. Next, we have restaurants. This was $449, which is $350 over budget. Now, normally I don't spend that much on restaurants, especially if I'm in Seattle, but since I was traveling, I was in New York, I wanted to try out different restaurants and stuff. A little bit on the higher side. I was also paying for a lot of my girlfriend's dinners, so it ended up being a little bit more expensive. When I'm in Toronto, I'm also eating out a ton as well because I'm just, meeting up with friends and stuff like that. On the note of restaurants, some good restaurants that I had this month. I actually went to Wen Wen, which is in Brooklyn. It is really good. I think that's probably one of the better Chinese places that I've had. Also, Pho Back Soup Shop. This is in Seattle. Really, really good. Probably one of the best pho places I've had outside of like my home, like outside. Karahi Boys in Toronto. Some Pakistani food that's fire. So I'm not gonna even try to pronounce this, but this street food Korean place, really cool, where they, you make these balls and you eat them and stuff. That was really cool. Next up, we have gifts and donations. This was $71. A gift from my friend when I was visiting them in New York. Like, let me crash at their place, and it was very nice of them. So I got them a little gift as a sign of appreciation. So this month I actually started paying rent on my new place, which is this area that you're seeing. The total amount that I pay each month is just under $1,300. I think it's $1,275. But I also had to do the security deposit, which was $600. I also had to close out all my utilities from the old place. That ended up being a couple $100 in like the sewage fee and the water fee and all that. I don't know why it was so expensive in the last month, but it was. So yeah, in total, it ended up being $2,000 and basically $2,100. Next up, we have hair care. I did not get a haircut. It's been a while since I got a haircut. That's why I'm wearing a hat. My hair is very, very deranged right now. So gonna get a haircut very soon. All right, next up we have shopping. This month I spent $430 on shopping, and this is honestly mostly just clothes. So yeah, I spent $430 on clothes this month, which is a lot. Now, the majority of the clothes that I bought were actually pants. I bought a lot of pants. I grew a little bit, so like I can't fit any of my normal pants anymore. Like, they're way too tight, mostly around the thighs. And it sucks because my thighs are too big, so I can't wear like my normal size. So I have to size up in the waist, but then the waist is super loose. So whenever I find pants that fit me really well, I just buy them just because, I hate pants not fitting correctly. So that's why I found a couple pants that fit me. So I'm just gonna buy it. I don't want to think about it, right? And I got a couple shirts. This is one of them. I think this was like $60 or $70, can't remember exactly. Thrifted some stuff and then got some shoes. Last but not least, we have travel. I know it says 814 on Mint, but in reality it's closer to like 500-ish, just because I bought a lot of flights for me and my girlfriend, but we're gonna have to actually split it later on. But since all those charges are still pending on my credit card, it won't let me like split it in Mint. I don't know why it won't let me do that, but that's just the way Mint is. Pretend this number is like 514, which makes it slightly better. So I'm going to Thailand for about 3 weeks with my girlfriend, and a lot of the money that I spent in travel this month, $300 specifically, was for all those flights within Thailand. So while I'm there, I'm going to Bangkok. I'm going to, this is technically not in Thailand, but I'm going to Angkor Wat, which is in Siem Reap, Cambodia. Then I'm going to Chiang Mai, and then I'm also going to Krabi. Or Krabi, I don't know how it's pronounced exactly. Another $200 in here. This is an Air Canada flight. This is my flight from Toronto back to Seattle at the end of the holidays. I actually got a discount for that one, so that's why I booked it right now. So that basically wraps up the whole entire monthly spend. Like I said, this was a pretty heavy spend month, but I actually really enjoyed this month versus the previous. So maybe it's the summer, maybe it's I'm doing a bunch of traveling, or maybe it's I'm spending money and having fun. Either way, I have no regrets. I did a lot of investing in the first half of the year, so kind of slowing down a little bit. I'm still thinking about doing that investment property, but honestly right now with the interest rates, like I don't think I'd be able to make any money. So I'm going to continue doing the course, continue doing some research, and then once I have a decision on that, I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll do a review of the course actually. But looking forward, I'm very excited for September. I'm actually going to be heading up to Vancouver for the September long weekend. But aside from that, you know, my girlfriend's going to come visiting me before we go to Thailand. Also be going to Thailand, which is going to be super fun. So a lot of things coming up, a lot of more money could be spent. But if you have any questions, comments, or video ideas, please leave them down below because I have no life. I will answer. And if you leave me a video idea, I most likely will do it because I have no life. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you're curious as to how much money a software engineer spends on like a normal month, you can watch this playlist right here where I've compiled all of my monthly budget spends throughout the whole entire year.